Arnold Palmer, Jack Nicklaus, Tiger Woods. In each of their primes, they played golf like no fan had ever seen before, growing the game by making history each week. Bryson DeChambeau is not at all one of those guys. We've seen big hitters before, and there's already been scientific minds running this game for years. However, Bryson does have one ability that may lead him into a conversation right alongside all of those greats.
And doesn't mean we all can't make the game of golf better for everyone in the world.
For much of Bryson's professional career, he's been a little bit of an outsider. First, he flashed onto the scene as an amateur, winning both the NCAA Championship and the US Amateur in 2015, and turning around as the Low-Am in the 2016 Masters. At that point, he looked primed to be the next big thing after Spieth, Fowler, and Rory had all done it before him, but that's not exactly how it panned out. He struggled a lot in his first year, the way all of those faces of the PGA Tour didn't, and I think it's in that initial struggle that pushed Bryson DeChambeau onto a different path than all of those other greats before him. Because when he did find his form and start competing with the best and winning, he didn't fit in at all. He made some questionable decisions, acted a certain way that made a lot of fans very much so dislike him for good reason. He looked like a bit of a weirdo. Bryson DeChambeau was pictured this way because a few moments in his career made him look a certain way, and that's just how it works nowadays. If a funny picture of you gets used as a meme, that's what you'll be known for probably forever, unless you can create a more powerful or viral image. For years on the PGA Tour, those key moments of either brilliance or embarrassment really overshadowed an entire player's career because that's all those players would be known for. However, Bryson was able to change that and create a new viral image for himself when he created his YouTube channel.
And that's the tough part, is getting people to see who I truly am compared to, what the tour represent or puts me out to be as.
With this, even with a very fresh and not amazing yet ability in front of the camera, Bryson took his image into his own hands and also opened the eyes of many to the inner workings of professional golf. Before this point, that was restricted to whatever the PGA Tour wanted to put online, and then whatever they permitted the likes of TaylorMade or Titleist to put on their websites. Bryson DeChambeau opened up his entire life to people online, effectively becoming an influencer by tapping into the golf culture that YouTube was cultivating. With the likes of GM Golf, Bob Does Sports, and Good, Bryson began actively working to show another side of himself, to counteract what had been broadcast for years. Now we were seeing a PGA Tour golfer go crazy with his swing speed, try and do something that no one had ever done before, and we were able to witness it on the platform that was the closest to us. In the years prior, we had gotten close to the likes of Grant Horvat and Garrett Clark and their ability to play golf because it was fun, and it made it relatable and entertaining in a way that the PGA Tour wasn't every single day. It was opening up something that would become very handy in the future, especially when LIV Golf came along. You can say what you want about the money or the ethics, but one fact stands above all of the rest to me, and that's that moving to LIV allowed Bryson DeChambeau to open up his life to the world via YouTube in a way he never would have been able to before while still on the PGA Tour, and in doing so, gained an ability that might not have been seen in a very long time, maybe since Arnold Palmer. Back in the 1950s, Arnold Palmer was the biggest thing in American golf. Not only was he good, but he played very aggressively, hit the ball far, and was charismatic in a way that made golf feel approachable for a lot of people. The sport that had felt so exclusive for many began to open up as this handsome dude hit bombs and played everything a little bit differently than everyone else. Arnold Palmer was the face of American golf for a long time. However, Arnie's biggest contribution came to me when he made the jump across the pond to compete in the Open Championship in the UK. In the 2 decades leading up to 1960, the vast majority of the professional Americans stayed in the US because purses were bigger and they just couldn't afford to make the trip. It was costly and expensive, but when Palmer went, well, it reinvigorated worldwide interest in the tournament and reconnected a portion of the golf world that may have been left severed if it wasn't for his ambition. He brought fame and excitement to that tournament, and after winning it in 61 and 62, well, the Open Championship was back on the board for most American pros, and that helped to feed into this 4-major calendar year where the best in the world could come in those few top tournaments to compete every year. Without Arnie doing that, the realm of golf wouldn't have been nearly the same for Jack Nicklaus to make his jump to perfection in the years that followed, and the Tiger Slam, well, that probably would have never happened. But for Arnold Palmer, that theme of connection ran throughout his entire career. When he took another jump, when he helped found the Golf Channel, Palmer was quoted saying, "If I hadn't tried to hit it through the trees sometimes in my life, none of us would be here." Many of his closest friends and advisors fought against the move to join the Golf Channel to help create it because it seemed weird at the time. TV was just not what it is today, and there were a lot of doubters. But Palmer helped bring golf news, information sessions, and lessons to the masses in a way never before seen. He opened up the eyes of the world to golf in a similar way to what Bryson has done on YouTube. But more importantly, Bryson has the ability to match Arnold again very soon. With LIV Golf taking over the news for a while in 2022, it was scary for a lot of golf fans, and I think even more scary for the PGA Tour. For years, they had such a strong grip on everything. Honestly, it was the perfect business model because they barely had any real competitors and were the best product in the market. That let them restrict the rights of players and force rules that could have been argued to be unfair on the golf world. Now, Tiger Woods would probably say that none of the golfers would be where they were if it weren't for the PGA Tour, but the fact remains, LIV Golf was there, and Bryson DeChambeau was joining it. When he made his move public in June 2022, I think it caught a lot of people off guard, but more importantly, it gave a lot of others more reason to dislike him. His run on YouTube had only just really begun, and with the whirlwind of moves and drama being made that summer, Bryson was swept into a lot of it, and I think a lot of people were ready to just forget the DeChambeau name. After all, he was leaving what we were all watching, potentially without the chance to play in a major, and not that many people even liked him before that. He was still this different guy that we had only seen glimpses of, and we didn't like those glimpses of him. But over time, the storms calmed, and through the clouds, Bryson shined more than anyone else. Now, sure, he was still playing on a tour that was working out kinks, and a lot of them. Every week they tested new rules and formats, but even if we ignored the golf completely and no one watched those matches, well, we still watched Bryson DeChambeau because of his YouTube channel. In today's world, that's just how we get to know players, and that's why everyone loves seeing Tiger pop up on TaylorMade's account talking about hitting a 5-wood out of the rough. The platform's always there, and it's something we're comfortable with, but Bryson's channel stands out among all of the rest, because he gives us an insight into not only what it's like for someone to play on LIV Golf, but just to be a professional golfer in general. And it shows a side of Bryson that is incredibly likable. 5 years ago, he looked like some arrogant, nerdy kid that did things his own way. But now, we understand the way he does those things, or at least we kind of do, and that helps us judge him less. He's no longer this caricature of himself because of his YouTube channel, and so the fact that he left the tour everyone watches and cares about doesn't really matter, because he's still on our screens in a way I would argue is more intimate than we have ever seen in the golf world. However, that theme of connection between Arnold and Bryson stands in front of him right now more than ever, because Bryson is not only providing us with content the same way all the great YouTube golfers are, but because he's doing all of that while going and competing alongside all of the other best golfers in the world. And it's in his capacity as an elite golfer and an elite creator where he can help connect a divided world, maybe more so than anyone else. He can be the face of LIV Golf, make it approachable for many that would have been opposed to it otherwise, and more importantly to me, he can use his seemingly philanthropic interests to create a closer, better golf world where the LIV and PGA Tours can work together to improve the game for all of us. In the same way that Arnold Palmer made that jump to play at St. Andrews in 1960 and connect the two big golf worlds, well, Bryson has a similar ability to do that now and helped connect the two biggest golf worlds at the moment. Because of his YouTube channel, Bryson feels like one of us when he's out there. That's why so many people got behind his fist bumping and excitement in Valhalla, and why he may have more of a crowd behind him than pretty much anyone else on tour except Woods. Bryson, if you're watching this video, keep doing great things. You've said your dream is to make a big movement in the world of golf, and honestly, dude, I think you've already done it. But keep going, man. We see you. For everybody else, though, let me know what you think. If you enjoyed this video, jump on over to this one about the day a nobody beat prime Tiger Woods in a major, or check out this one about a kind of historically inaccurate history of the PGA Tour. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.